Good morning, guys. Ariel over here. I am back home at Nyth. I've been for a couple days. It is chilly this morning. Not so much in the house because my fire is burning nice and hot, but it is chilly outside. As come out the door here, it's warmed up a little bit. It was about 20 degrees earlier. There's some frost on the grass. Not a real hard one because we don't have much moisture, but you can see it's usually almost 9 o'clock at this time of year before the sunlight actually starts hitting the ground in my clearing. It's in the treetops over there, coming up. You can see a ray right through the trees there, but it stays chilly here for a little while. Anyway, I got home from my trip to the Homesteaders of America conference. Everything was in pretty good shape here. As it starts to get really cold, my fencing that is around my clearing, this grass is all crunchy under my feet. This fencing, that's what keeps the big critters from eating my garden all year. If you can see the mesh right there. That is just held up to all of my T-posts with zip ties, and most of the times in the winter it comes down in several spots, and I'm good with that because you can tell the wood stove was cold this morning when I started up. It doesn't usually smoke that much. Anyway, when it gets in the middle of winter, I don't mind if the wildlife comes through, but it got really cold while I was gone. Oh, here's some pretty frost crystals. I think it was 8 degrees one of the mornings, and it snowed a few times. I didn't get a picture of the first snow in my place, but I do have a photo here from my neighbor's yard that he sent me, where it was snowy for a little while. So anyway, it got cold enough, a bunch of the zip ties snapped, and my fence came down in quite a few spots, and I did have some deer get in, and even though I had this partially covered, they ate off some of my raspberry leaves. You can see my little gophers are still hard at work. They don't quit. And the deer ate off a bunch of the remaining flowers around the house, which were all pretty much dead, so I'm not too concerned. They ate off all these kales and such around my steps. Some more of those flowers. And a couple of things I had left in the garden here that, oh, look at the ice crystals all kind of rimmed around the edges of the aspen leaves there. Isn't that pretty? I think ice and snow is beautiful. It's probably why I like living here. So anyway, a couple of things I had left still in the garden from the summer were like my Brussels sprouts there. They didn't really eat most of the Brussels, but they ate off all the leaves and stripped the cherry tree leaves off again. That's always one of their favorites, probably why the poor thing 4 years later is not really much bigger than when I planted it. And over here where I've got my berry bushes, gooseberries and elderberries. I don't know if you can even see there. You can see the sticks. They eat all of their leaves. They just love them for whatever reason. So that was a little unfortunate, but I am back to working on this project. That is my plan for today. Probably once it gets just a little bit warmer out here. So I had got these beds all done before I left. Put together, and then the hardware store didn't have any more hardware cloth in. They had ordered it and it didn't show up on their truck, and so I couldn't finish putting beds together until I got back. Now I do have the other roll I need, so I can make the rest of the beds that are going to go in that hole, and there's one that needs built down that side, and I think one more off on the far side there that you can't really tell yet. So anyway, I'm going to be working on that. I do have a quick trip in and out of town this weekend for a surprise I'll tell you guys about in a little bit. But I don't know if I'm going to get all... I'm sure people are going to have questions about how I'm filling these. I've got a video coming on that, so just be patient. But I did get this one end of this one done, mostly because I needed somewhere to plant my garlic for the year. So this, you can't really see it. You can maybe see some little flakes of garlic, skin sticking out there, but this whole end up to there where I quit getting it filled is planted full of 6 different varieties of garlic. Hopefully this is indeed gopher proof and they can't eat it all this year because I can use a lot of garlic. So I've got to finish that, and then I've been working on other projects. Like yesterday, I cleaned out my chimney. If you got questions about that, search my channel. I got a whole video about how I do that, but with my little chimney. I do clean that about once a month, so even though I light my fires up some in the summer, I'm getting it cleaned out here for the start of really consistent wood burning. Like I said, I don't know if I'll get all the beds filled, because what I am doing is taking the dirt out of the top of these. You can see where I started there. Everything down lower than where I quit there is pretty much solid rock, but I am using the dirt and other things from these to fill that up. And I've got my wood pile all tucked under there, and I do need to spend some time splitting some more firewood. But my house is warm and cozy. It is beautifully fall here. This is actually, well, we got more ice crystals all down the bench here. I just think the patterns ice makes are so lovely. This is an unusually long fall. I think at the beginning of October last year I had 8 inches of snow on the ground, and as you can see there was a little bit of snow here, but it did melt. So anyway, that is what I am working on. My most of my birds are gone for the summer, but I do still have all my chickadees and nuthatches and juncos. They're here year-round, so they come to the feeder. I guess they haven't all woke up this morning yet, but that is what is happening around my place. I do have some more conference videos coming up. I just have to get edited and uploaded on my slow internet. But I'm going back inside the warm and cozy house here for a minute. And then I'll be back outside to work as it warms up just a little. Thanks for watching, folks. If you're interested in more info on my off-grid tiny house life, check out some of my other videos here. And if you like what you're seeing, click the little picture of my house to subscribe, and then hit the little bell so YouTube actually notifies you every time there's a new video available. See y'all next time.